The gift of the time. In a small village called Greenfield, there lived a kind man named Max. Max was always ready to help anyone in need. Everyone in the village liked Max, but he had one big problem: he was always late. Max's lateness was well known in the village. No matter how hard he tried, he could never be on time. He was late to work, late to meetings, and even late to meals. His friends often teased him, but Max would laugh and say, "Better late than never." One sunny morning, as Max was getting ready to go to the market, he heard a knock on his door. He opened it to find an old woman standing there. She looked tired and worn out, with her clothes torn and dirty. She said, "Good morning, Max. I'm on my way to visit my sick daughter in the next village, but I have lost my way. Could you please help me?" Max felt sorry for the old woman. He invited her inside, gave her some food and water, and then offered to walk with her to the next village. However, Max had forgotten about the important meeting he had with the village council that morning. He thought to himself, "I'll just explain to them later. Helping this woman is more important right now." They set off together, and Max listened to the woman's stories as they walked. She told him about her daughter, who was a new mother, and how she needed help to take care of her newborn baby. Max felt bad for always being late. "If only I were more on time, I could have attended the meeting and still helped this woman," he thought. After a long walk, they finally reached the next village. The old woman thanked Max many times and invited him to her daughter's house for a meal. Max politely declined, saying he needed to get back to his village. He hurried back, worried about missing the council meeting. When he arrived, the meeting was already over. The council members were not happy with Max's absence. They scolded him for his lateness and told him that his behavior was not acceptable. Max felt ashamed and promised to change his ways. From that day on, Max tried his best to be on time. He set many alarms, made detailed plans, and even asked his friends to remind him. Slowly but surely, Max began to improve. The villagers noticed the change and appreciated his efforts. One day, a rich man came to Greenfield. He was looking for someone trustworthy to manage his new shop in the village. The villagers immediately recommended Max. The rich man, impressed by Max's reputation, decided to give him a chance. Max was happy. He took his new job seriously and made sure he was always on time. The shop did well under his management, and the rich man was very pleased. Max's hard work and punctuality paid off, and he was promoted to a higher position. Max never forgot the old woman who had unknowingly taught him an important lesson. He continued to help others, but now, he made sure he was always on time. The villagers were proud of Max and often shared his story with their children, teaching them the importance of being on time and kind. Years passed, and Max became one of the most respected men in Greenfield. He had a loving family, a successful career, and many friends. He often thought about his journey and felt grateful for the second chance he had been given. He knew that his life had changed for the better because he had learned to value time. Max's story became a legend in Greenfield. The villagers would gather around and tell their children about the man who was always late but found his way. They would say, "Remember, children, it's never too late to change. Everyone deserves a second chance." And so, the story of Max, the man who learned to be on time, lived on, inspiring generations to come. The villagers of Greenfield continued to cherish the lessons of kindness, punctuality, and the value of a second chance, passing them down from one generation to the next. As Max grew older, he decided to share his story more widely. He started visiting nearby villages, telling children and adults alike about the importance of being on time and always helping others. His story inspired many, and people began to call him Wise Max. One day, while Max was visiting a village called Rivertown, he met a young boy named Tom. Tom was very much like Max had been in his youth, kind-hearted but always late. Tom loved listening to Max's stories and admired him greatly. After one of Max's talks, Tom approached him and said, "Max, I want to be like you. But no matter how hard I try, I'm always late. Can you help me?" Max saw a lot of himself in Tom. He smiled and said, "Of course, Tom. I will help you. But remember, it takes time and effort to change a habit." Max and Tom started working together. Max taught Tom how to plan his day, set alarms, and keep track of time. He also shared tips on how to avoid distractions. Tom listened carefully and followed Max's advice. At first, Tom found it very hard. He still ended up being late sometimes. But Max encouraged him, saying, "Don't give up, Tom. Remember, it took me a long time to change too." Gradually, Tom started to improve. He began to arrive on time for school, finish his chores promptly, and even help his parents without delay. The villagers noticed the change in Tom and praised his efforts. One day, a big event was held in Rivertown. The mayor needed someone responsible to help organize it. Many people recommended Tom because of the remarkable change they had seen in him. The mayor decided to give Tom a chance. Tom was nervous but also excited. He remembered everything Max had taught him and put it into practice. The event was a great success, and everyone praised Tom for his hard work and punctuality. Tom felt proud of himself. He knew he had changed for the better, thanks to Max's guidance. He decided that he wanted to help others just like Max had helped him. He started sharing his story with other children, encouraging them to be on time and to help others. Max was very proud of Tom. He saw that his efforts had made a difference, not just in his own life, but in the lives of others as well. He continued to travel and share his story, with Tom sometimes joining him to share his own experiences. Years went by, and Max's health began to decline. He decided it was time to stay in Greenfield and rest. Tom continued Max's work, visiting villages and sharing the story of how he learned to be on time and the importance of helping others. Max spent his remaining years in peace, surrounded by his family and friends. He knew he had made a positive impact on the world. One day, as he was sitting under a big oak tree in Greenfield, he thought about his journey and felt content. He had used his second chance well and had passed on the lessons he had learned. Tom visited Max often, and they would talk about their adventures and the people they had helped. Max would always remind Tom, "Remember, it's never too late to change. And everyone deserves a second chance." When Max finally passed away, the whole village of Greenfield, along with many people from nearby villages, came to honor him. They shared stories of how Max had touched their lives and taught them the value of time and kindness. Tom continued Max's legacy, and the lessons of punctuality and kindness were passed down through generations. The villagers of Greenfield and beyond always remembered wise Max and his teachings. And so, the story of Max and Tom, the two men who learned to be on time and always help others, lived on, inspiring countless people to be better and to give others a second chance. The end.